Hey everybody, welcome back to the Steve Dave Double Shot Movie Review video series here on YouTube. I'm Steve.
And I'm Dave.
And goddamn, it's been a long time since we made one of these.
We're back from our hiatus.
5 months off, I tell you, it was a nice vacation.
I'm sure you were out there waiting.
Just anticipating, where are those guys? When's the new video gonna drop? What have you been doing with your 5 months, Dave?
Working, watching lots of movies. Actually, yeah, watching a lot of movies, working, painting.
If nobody knows, Dave also paints models, monster kids.
Basically everything you see in front of us, not this crap, anything. All our prior episodes is all stuff I paint.
There's a little festival he goes to in Kentucky.
Wonderfest. Look it up.
Check him out. Say hey to him if you go to it.
Yeah. What have you been up to, Steve?
I went to a city I've been wanting
to go. You went to
Danzig's
house.
I took a trip.
The Freddy house.
I took a trip to Los Angeles
on the street.
in March, which I've been wanting to do forever.
You didn't get to meet one.
Didn't get to meet Lemmy though. I did go to the Rainbow. It was great. Great city. I'd have to be a millionaire to live there to enjoy it, I tell you.
Got to eat at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
We'll eat chicken and waffles. Also went to Lakers game and also
saw Jack Nicholson.
Well, yeah, saw Jack Nicholson. While I was back home, I got to see Prince, and it was fucking 2 thumbs up awesome here in my hometown, Greenville. But yeah, that's working, and
he did more than me.
Started lifting weights seriously.
I started eating more.
Yeah, still got that marriage weight on me, but whatever. All right, tonight we got 2 great flicks for you. First off, 1935's Bride of Frankenstein, a Universal classic, if you will, and
1987's
vampire western Near Dark.
Near Dark.
Let's kick it off with Bride of Frankenstein. Dave, I would say you're probably the expert on this one. Give us the rundown on it.
It is a wonderful movie. It is, of course, the follow-up to Frankenstein. Basically, it's, well, I wouldn't say it's the original cast reassembled, but the original director James Whale and Boris Karloff are back, along with Colin Clive, and but they did replace the actors. But this is the one. This movie is very famous for being known as the one movie where the sequel surpasses its predecessor. Which in some aspects I agree with, and in some I don't. I fight very much back and forth on which is my favorite. But it's a great movie, and it basically picks up right where 1931's Frankenstein left off. I mean, it's pretty much the same night. They pull Dr. Frankenstein's body in, introduces new character, Dr. Pretorius, which he's one of the reasons why I think it could be better.
I like him a lot. He was really cool.
He's very like Mephistopheles. So to say, Clive Barker. That's an exact quote from him.
Well, it's
in the documentary.
Also, it's Mary Shelley telling she's hanging out with these 2 dudes, and
that's she's hanging out with her future husband.
Future husband, some
buddy.
Dude who's like, yes, I'm the best, and he's like, Mary, didn't you write that terrible story about the doctor?
Rifling careers?
Yeah. And so she proceeds, oh yes, a lot more happened after that. Let me tell you now. Well, what's cool is they never go back to them. Like the movie just ends and it doesn't go back to them.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's good. It's dark. It's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Which a lot of younger people, well, hell, anyone's younger to that movie.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I'd say under the age of 40 or what, I don't fucking know, aren't aware. They watch it and they think they're just not hip to it because they don't get that it's actually supposed to be a funny movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I like its dark humor. And Dwight Frye is back in it. In the first one, he plays Fritz. In this one, he plays Dr. Pretorius' little henchman. I always like
that guy.
Dwight Frye. He's
yeah.
like, you know, goes and gets the heart and stuff. It's really well made. Karloff brings it back with the role again, and he does well. He brings it back with speech. And a lot of people didn't like that he talked. I do. It gives a little
more humanness.
To use a word I never use, but they use it in the documentaries all the time. Pathos. But it does give that. It brings a little more weight to the role and stuff. What I have here is the Legacy collection of Frankenstein. Comes with every version of Frankenstein. Documentaries galore.
Every Universal version.
Yeah, every Universal
version. Get that right.
Yeah. It's got the Lon Chaney. It doesn't have Wolfman Meets Frankenstein because that's on the Wolfman Legacy edition. But Bride of Frankenstein has it all. It's dark. It's got humor.
I like that he drinks.
Yeah,
smokes.
He
That's
loves
awesome.
to drink and smoke. But you identify with the monster a little more in this, and finding that he either wants, he just, like everyone, he wants companionship. You know, it's not just about being diabolical and making another bride, except for with Pretorius. He kind of has a god complex and stuff. Because like Dr. Frankenstein from the first one, you see, he wanted to find a way to find the secrets of life and death and beat that. Or discover it, but great flick.
Something else I like about this movie, I was surprised at how many cuts there were. As far as, you know, I dabble in editing, a lot of cuts, because, you know, you'd think back in like the 30s they would try to get as many long takes as possible. No, it's fucking cut here. They're doing this. This guy's doing this. I was surprised at that.
It's a combination, I think, between movie making was still a little rough around the edges then, and also. I mean, James Whale, the first Frankenstein and this one were both due to the, they weren't really a censoring board back then, but
no MPAA.
It was more of a group that it was put forth for moral value. But like originally he's going through the graveyard. He was originally supposed to go up to the cross, the crucifix, and hold on to the bottom and kind of weep, and they thought, no, that'd be too anti-religious. So say they just had him go through the cemetery and knock over a bishop. Which looks worse.
Speaking of the cemeteries and stuff, dude, the sets in this movie were fucking, I love them. Like, they're just creepy and really cool looking at the same time.
If you watch the documentaries, they tell you James Whale set each set up for a reason. Like, there's the one for us that's all like phone poles.
Yeah.
That, I forget what it was supposed to represent.
It looked really cool, though.
In the docs, they tell you what each one is supposed to represent. So I think, I mean, the movie has great characters. Dr. Pretorius is awesome. Colin Clive as Dr. Frankenstein. He shows anguish. Like, he has real. People think people couldn't act well back then,
but you can see he was really torn between doing the bride and just fucking calling it a day.
Yeah, and Karloff's great. The monk is great. Elsa Lanchester is, I think she's hot. She's beautiful. And
how many stars?
I'm biased, man. I give it a 5. But
5?
Frankenstein's my favorite out of everything. So.
I'd have to give it a. I give it a 4. I would say I'm not too keen on all the Universal monsters. It's more his area, but it was very enjoyable. I liked it a lot.
I would say for anyone who hasn't seen it and is really into newer horror, just sit down and give it a shot. I mean, really.
Don't be like, oh man, but it's in black and white. Don't be so shallow.
Then, if you're going to be that shallow, you deserve to not enjoy this movie to begin with. But do check it out. Do buy it. It's dark. It's funny. It's
quality flick.
Yeah.
Let's take a shot for old Bride of Frankenstein.
Here you go, James Whale.
There you go.
Welcome back, world. He's Steve.
And I'm Dave.
And we're coming back at you with 1987's Near Dark. A great Western-style vampire flick directed by the one and only Catherine Bigelow. This was her second movie. Her movie before this was a movie with Willem Dafoe called The Loveless. Actually, I think she co-directed it. But it's got an ensemble cast. It's pretty much a hangover cast from Aliens.
Pretty much.
And it's got, I believe it was introducing Adrian Pasdar and Jenny Wright, the two main characters. I think it was their first role, their first breakout role. But basically what you have here is, it's, like I said, kind of a Western vampire movie. Begins with a young kid sitting around bored, living in Oklahoma, and comes across this chick, and next thing he knows,
from around here,
his fucking world is turned over. And
he's very oblivious to her whole bag. Like, he can tell, like, oh, she's not like a normal chick, but
that's the attraction.
Yeah.
That's the attraction to her. And he was supposed to be dinner.
Yeah.
But she kind of fell in love, and she was good. I liked them a lot. It's also got Tim Thomerson is Adrian Pasdar's dad.
Yeah.
And Tim Thomerson was the doll man who fought
that was Doll Man, yeah.
He was Doll Man. But it also has Lance Henriksen, who I say is the greatest science fiction horror movie actor ever. Why do I say that, Steve? Because the guy's been in Terminator, Alien, Predator, Near Dark, Pumpkinhead.
He was on that Millennium show?
He was on Millennium. I think he did everything but RoboCop.
Pretty much. Probably might have been one of the sequels.
I don't even know if... No, he wasn't in any of the Hellraisers, but the guy's been in everything sci-fi horror that has had a good first movie or a decent or shitty sequels. But basically, he falls in with...
a ragtag group of vampires.
Yeah, squatter fucking vampires who travel around because she basically, Jenny Wright, nips him and turns him, and next thing he knows, his world's upside down and he's running with them. And Lance Henriksen is the leader of the group.
But the muscle of the group, I gotta say, is Bill Paxton.
Those are the two that steal the show.
Yeah, his best role ever, I gotta say. Bill Paxton
is fucking
Severin. Yeah.
Severin. And
just a tough guy, kick-ass vampire.
And he said he loosely based it on Jim Morrison, which you can see that, the way he dresses and moves. And but he is just, he's a fucking hoot. He is.
Yeah, you love him.
When he's on, it's one of those roles when he's on screen, you just watch him. You're not watching, and that's the same thing with Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
It's Lance Henriksen.
Captivating actor.
Yeah, it's basically a Civil War vet who's a vampire, and basically he's just real, and he did a good job with that role because he's real no-nonsense Southern.
Yeah.
Like, real cut to the fucking chase, doesn't fuck around. But he'll play with his food a little bit, so to say. And here, this is another swanky edition.
Dave's got the super swanky edition. I have the lame Twilight cover edition.
No longer available anymore.
Yeah,
has great fucking documentaries on it too. If you like all the extras, and they catch back up with everyone from the cast except Jenny Wright. They couldn't find her. Apparently, she's like a recluse or something now. But Lance Henriksen talks about. How he basically went all fucking method into this.
Yeah.
And like had to drive down to where they were filming. It was like a 12-hour drive. Some shit, I forget. But anyway, he got into costume and character and drove by himself, didn't go with anyone. And, like Bill Paxton talks about that good scene in the bar, and he was all
probably the best
hopped up on B12 because he was all feeling like shit.
This movie has two people who went on to be in Terminator 2, the stepmom and the biker from which...
Well, the stepmom, like we said earlier, is a hangover of Aliens. What was Catherine Bigelow was fucking James Cameron or something at the time. She asked him for permission to use the cast because you have fucking Hudson, Vasquez, and Bishop in the movie.
Yeah, it's all Alien. Yeah.
And you can tell. You can also tell they were coming right off Alien, and it has that feel, that same kind of movie to it.
Well, speaking on that, I want to say, this came out in 1987, and there was another vampire movie that came out that year. Well, my favorite's Lost Boys. But however, this movie, I gotta say, when you watch it, it really has, it's not, like, whereas Lost Boys is 80s as fuck, it's probably one of the most 80s movies ever. This movie is really timeless, in the sense, other than the $14 bus ticket, which, he's like...
Yeah.
Other than that, it's fucking, it could take place in any decade.
Anywhere,
Anywhere, yeah.
Because...
There's no real, like...
Well, the cars they use are... out already old in
so
that SUV what shit, that Suburban
Winnebago in Suburban thing. But really
but the way they dress is just, it's very it's very
timeless. It could take place in the 70s, 80s, or now, any of them.
I'd say this is Catherine Bigelow's best movie. You don't even need to rent it, just buy it. It's really good. If you don't like this movie, then it's not because it sucks, it's because you suck.
So how about a shot for old Near Dark?
This is for Jesse and Severance.
Well, thanks for watching the Steve Dave Double Shot movie review, and we'll see you next time.